Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, you may have breathed a sigh of relief when you realised that Michael Portillo wasn't around to manspread in pastel chinos on the sofa tonight. The truth is he can't stand to be here because it's the first anniversary of his split from Diane. That's right, this time last year, Hackney Abbott ditched him to rekindle her socialist fervour with old flame comrade Corbyn. Of course, we invited old Choo Choo to the green room to drown his sorrows with some Blue Nun, but he said this week he just couldn't face it. That's why we've decided to put breakups in the spotlight. One hard time too many?
I think it's the reality of marriage that you go through hard times.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie went their separate ways this week, dumping Tim Farron off the airwaves.
That's a nice sponge.
And what of the perfect bake-off couple? Paul Hollywood says he wants to stick with the dough and move to Channel 4. But Mary Berry says she's had enough of soggy bottoms, leaving viewers crying into their cake mix.
Well, I voted for Owen Smith. I think the ability to unite the party, I think that's something that's been missing.
There seems little love lost between Jezza and his first wife, who announced this week she'd vote for Owen Smith. And what of rocky relations between North and South in the Labour Party? The NEC told Scottish Labour leader Kezia Dugdale that she could go her own way this week. David Cameron used to be devoted to his constituents.
Well, I love being MP for Witney and I'm very keen to continue.
But despite all the talk of serving the country from the backbenches, he's hastily annulled their union. Corbynista Jimmy Brand's UB40 once split. So should unhappy couples stay together or break up for the kids? Now, we were meant to interview Katie Price at this stage in the proceedings, but she ditched us. Or did we ditch her? I can't remember. I'm not even sure who she is. Anyway, it was complicated and messy. But I'm delighted to be joined by Jimmy Brown from UB40 instead. He's much more glamorous. We're delighted to see you here. Speaking of splits and breakups, there's a lot around in politics and private life and so on. The UB40 split. Was it really tough at the time?
It wasn't that bad. I mean, I don't see it as a split, really, because all we did was we changed singers. We lost a singer. We wouldn't be the first band to do that. And our singer went solo. We're in difficulties now because he had a solo career, but then it didn't do as well as he thought and started using the name again. So we're going through the courts at the moment.
Oh,
but we
no,
haven't
really?
split. Yeah, we haven't split, really. The rest of the band are all still
all
there.
together. So it was only one that went. But mind you, the singer's quite important.
It's pretty important. Yeah, we just
Not as important as the drummer.
But we happen to have his... No, that's true. But we happen to have his brother, who in the cupboard waiting. So we just took the brother out of the cupboard and replaced him. And everything's lovely. We've just done the biggest tour we've done in about 20 years.
Have you?
Yeah.
Great. So when splits like that come onto the agenda, do you think that do we fight hard enough to stop splits from happening, or we just think we're a bit too lazy? Oh, we'll get through anyway. Let's just get on with it.
I don't know. I think it's a sign of the times, really. That they're kind of hysterical times going on at the moment, and that's causing all kinds of splits and fissures between different camps, and I think it's a sign of the times, I think.
I mean, there is a lot of kind of splitting. Brexit's a split. Yeah. Brangelina is a split. Bake-Off is a split. You leaving the Shadow Cabinet was a split. I mean,
up there with Mary Berry leaving.
Not quite as big as Brangelina, but you know what I mean. Are we becoming a more fizziparious society?
Do you know, it's far too late. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You do. Sometimes I do struggle, you know. We'll be more inclined to atomise as a society, break up all the time. We're less coherent.
So actually, I agree with Jimmy. I think that a lot of people at the moment are feeling very, very anxious in this country about a lot of things. It's a lot to do with economic insecurity, but we've had some really seismic changes politically in the last few years, and I think it's very, very hard to predict what the future will look like, and there are very few politicians out there talking about a positive vision for the future and how we shape that future. And I think that has created this sense of, I don't know whether you'd call it hysteria, but people feeling really just quite anxious about things. And I don't think Mary Berry leaving Bake Off has helped very much.
No, it's added to the anxiety of the nation.
I can't wait to see a new show.
You had a split with government office.
Yeah, I've exited. It was very depressing. So, yeah, the Tory party's split with me, and I'm on the back benches. But I think we are staying together. You know, for example, despite being ejected unceremoniously from the government, I remain utterly loyal to the Prime Minister, so I hope she's watching. And we shouldn't forget, you know, Scotland decided to stay. There are examples where people look at the door and actually decide not to walk through it. So I think we should cheer ourselves up a bit. I also think, for example, that...
Were you upset by the Brexit split?
To be honest, I was with Corbyn, really. I mean, I'm not a great fan of the...
So you're kind of a reluctant Remainer?
A reluctant Remainer, because I really didn't want to be left in the hands of Boris.
Do you think Labour will split?
No, I don't think Labour will split at all. There's nowhere for the Rebels to go. You know, back in the day it was the SDP. And
there's nothing like that now, is there?
Nothing at all, no, so I don't see a split. Really don't.
And you're happy to see Mr Corbyn get re-elected?
I'd be very happy to see Mr Corbyn re-elected, yes.
All right.
Do you think he can win an election?
I definitely think he can win an election, but I think it's about getting... We've got a low turnout in this country compared to other countries. It's about getting people out on the street and voting, you know, and I think they're not going to be able to use the mainstream press the way the Tories use the mainstream press. You know, that they have low membership in the Tory party, and they're happy to get the message out through the mainstream media.
Okay. You're going to have to write as a campaign song.
No one reads it.
Yes.
Are you? No, you said you just finished a tour. Is that right?
No, we're just starting.
You're just starting one.
Next week we're starting.
Where are you beginning?
Oh God. Leeds, I think. But
Leeds, the fine city of Leeds.
It's the end of one of the biggest tours we've done in a very long time. We're just coming to an end now, the final leg.
Good luck with it. It's been good to see you here tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's your lot for tonight, folks, but not for us. Keith Vaz is having his select committee's leaving do at Lulu's. I'm told there'll be party poppers. And, well, party poppers, actually. That's probably just about it, or all we'll be able to remember. So let's get, in his famous words, let's get this party started. Hit it, Keith.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style.